Hi students, today we are going to see about the charts. Okay, so actually this there are the 10 charts, and we are going to see about the what are the questions and what are the diagrams. With help of the with help of the diagram, we are going to just mention the parts, and with help of this question we have to answer. Okay, so let me move to the chart. Okay, the first one, yeah, the neuromuscular junction. So here what will happen, so they used to ask about the mention the parts A, B, C. They have to ask the question about this: identify the ABC, name the neurotransmitter released, and what is the end plate potential, and what is the myasthenia gravis. Just to give like this, so we have to answer each and every question. Okay, so we'll see the answer. And here I just mentioned here, what is the A? That is, A is a presynaptical terminal, now terminal, and B is the secretory vesicles, and C is the motor end plate, that is also postsynaptical membrane. And what name of the transmitter is the acetylcholine. Okay, and what is the end plane potential? End plane potential is a non-propagated depolarization potentials in motor end plate due to sodium influx through the acetylcholine gated non-specific cation channels. It also causes a deep development of action potential. And what is the next question? What is the myasthenia gravis? It is an autoimmune disorders affecting the neuromuscular junction due to the circulating antibodies to nicotine and acetylcholine receptors, a rapid onset of fatigue, and generated the muscle weakness. So what will happen finally? So it will be just treated with the steroids. Okay, next let me move to the next chart as a conducting system of heart. So here they have to mention about this as a explain the conducting system out, and they have to just mention the A, B, C, D, E. Okay, and which is the pacemaker of the heart and why is it called so, and write the importance of the AB nodal delay, and finally which is the first conducting fibers. So these are questions will be given, and we are going to give the answer. So first one, so explain the conducting system of heart. So it's SA node, is the internodal fibers, atrial fibers, AV node, bundle of is Purkinje fibers, ventricles and Cordai cycle. This is actually is a continuous part. And second thing is which is the pacemaker of the heart is the SA node. And so we have to tell the reason, isn't it? So because it generates the one pulse. So next is the what is the AV nodal delay. The AV nodal delay is 0.1 second. So what happened here? So this delay helps to atria to empty the blood of filling on ventricle before the ventricular contraction. AV nodal cells have a long refractive period, thus limiting the impulses to conduct through AV node to ventricle. And finally, which is the first conducting fiber? So obviously we know about that there is a Purkinje fibers. So next we have to move to the next slide. It's the ECG. Okay, so here they used to ask the questions about this: identify the various ECG waveforms, explain the physiological basis of the each wave, and calculate the heart rate with this graph. Okay, so now, so answers, what are the waves? There is a P wave, Q wave, RS wave, RST. So these are the ECG which is present in the graph. And P is the atrial depolarization, Q is the innervation of the interventricular septum, and the excitational process as per both the ventricles, and it is the excitation of the basal part of the heart, and what happens? T is the ventricular depolarization. Okay, and there is a calculation of the heart rate. So what will happen here? There is a 1500 divided by the hour interval in between the one hour to another hour. So you just think about this is the next hour, again will come and start. So what will happen here? So you have to count the each and every boxes. Again we have to count these boxes because this is a this rotation. So how many boxes will be there, we have to count it and we have to get the results. Okay, so this 1500 nothing is there. Actually we have to just calculating the, we are calculating this circulating, it means recording rotations. Okay, so that machine will be rotate in the 24 millimeter speed, so we have to be calculated by the 1 minute, so we'll get this 1500. Okay, and next we are going to see about the innovation of a urinary bladder. So we have to identify A, B, C. Actually they are not given the A, B, C, so we have to think about this A, B, C like this. Okay, so this A is a pelvic nerve, B is a hypogastric nerve, C is a parental nerve, and which is the nerve emptying and filling. So the nerve emptying is a parasympathetic and nerve filling is a sympathetic nerve. And physiological capacity of the urinary bladder is a 600 ml. So next is explain the maturity reflex. We have to explain the as per as a like as a flow chart. Okay, so like as when bladder will be filled with the urine and bladder will be bladder wall stretches, the stretcher receptors is going to be give the stimulated, and what will happen, so the impulse will be carried in the afferent of the spinal cord, specifically the S2, S3, S4, and integration of the impulse in spinal cord, impulse go through the afferent pelvic nerve to the bladder. So what will happen, finally this maturation reflex will be takes places. Okay, and next chart is a JG apparatus, isn't it? So now, so identify the structure and name is the components and give the function of each components, which component is the apparatus takes for the thermoglobin feedback. So here there is a JG apparatus. So here there is a JG cells is a A, and B is a McLaurin and C is the Leslie cells. And so we have to know about this, what are the function of the each component. JG cells is going to be secrete the renin as well as acting as a baroreceptor, and McLaurin cells act as a chemoreceptor, maintains the iron content in the tubular fluid, and this is a secrete the renin and erythropoietin. Okay, and next slide is a erythropoiesis. So here they have to just asking about the name the stage of the erythropoiesis, at which stage does hemoglobin will be happier, and they list the factor regulating the erythropoiesis. So the hemoglobin also will be easy to know here. So we know the stages, then easy to identify where is going to hemoglobin will be appear. Okay, and so now, so then we have to mention the what are the regulating factors also. So we see the answer. So this is a pro-normoblast, early, intermediate, late normoblast, and is a reticulocyte, and finally is a matured RBC. Okay, and here, so this is the intermediate normoblast, this is a hemoglobin will be appear. And next there is out of the factors, there is a, we have to segregate the three types of factors. One is a general factor, maturation factor, and dietary factor. So in general factor is just regulating by the hypoxia and erythropoietin, and in the maturation factors is being regulated by is a vitamin B12, folic acid, and diet is iron, protein, copper, and vitamin C. Okay, let me move to the next slide. So this is a refractive error of eye. So they have to just given the three types, the A, B, C. Okay, so I hope I are able to differentiate in this corneal area, isn't it? So there is some changes will be present in the A, B, and C. Okay, so depends upon that we are going, then there is some question also will be there, and identify the A, B, C, and which type of lens is used to correct the B and C, and what is astigmatism, how it will be just corrected. Okay, these are the questions for this refractive error of eye. Actually this is a normal eye, so these to consider, so there is a emetropia, so this will cross the corneal area, so there is a hypermetropia, and this is not even touch the corneal areas, so what will happen, there is a myopia. Okay, the hypermetropia will just corrected up by the convex lens, and this will be corrected by the concave lens. Okay, this astigmatism is due to the irregular curvature of the cornea and corrected by the cylindrical lens. Next, we have to move to the spirogram. So this is another chart, and so here this question that is to ask: one is identify the graph and label the various lungs volumes and capacities and give the normal values. So what is this? This is actually spirograph or spirogram. Okay, next we have to adjust given the both the answers together. So the title volume they ask to first the volumes and capacities, as well as they asking the values, isn't it? So but I given the both together. Title volume 500 ml, inspirator volumes male for the 3 liter, female for 1.9 liter. Expirator volume for male is 1.2 liter, for female is 700 ml. Functional residual capacity is for 2.2 to 2.5 liters for common. So residual volume is for male is 1.2 and for female is 1.1 liter. Vital capacity male is 4.2 and female is 3 liter. Total tank capacity is totally 6 liters. Okay, and next move to the next slides. So taste pathway. So now, so enumerate what are the taste sensations and trace the taste pathway. So what is the term used to denote the complete the loss of taste sensation? Okay, so first, so what are the taste which is present there? So the sweet, sour, salty, bitter and umami. Okay, and second thing, so we have to know about this anterior 2/3 of the tongue being responsible for the facial nerve, and the posterior 1/3 of the tongue is responsible for the glossopharyngeal nerve. Epiglottis of soft palate, and this is responsible for the vagus nerve. This is going to reach towards the tractus altus and the medulla, and ventrocosteo media nucleus of thalamus and sensory, and finally is going to be reaching the sensory cortex. And finally, the what is the term used to denote the complete loss of sensation? Actually, I didn't mention this. There is a agousia. Okay, this is a agousia. And the next slide, and as a picture they given. They ask the question like this: enumerate the features of the picture, give the diagnosis. What is the cause of this condition? Okay, something will be maybe is abnormality. Is abnormality. So okay, now we'll see this. So what are the features which is present there? Okay, so some protrusion of the supraorbital ridges. Okay, and is a broadening nose. Nose will be very broader, and thickening lips. Lips will be very thickened, and is like is a prognathism, which means the chin is going to be just enlarged here. So these are the features, and if the features will be present, then person is have to be definitely affected up by the growth hormone. So there is the excess secretion of the growth hormone. So after the puberty may be due to the number of the sonography or any pituitary tumor which is present in the pituitary area, and this condition is called as acromegaly. Okay, so that's all. Today's totally 10 slides. So have any doubts, have any clarifications, then free to text and free to call. Don't hesitate. Okay, thank you. Bye.